Is marriage truly a sacred institution, or is it just a cleverly disguised trap, as Bertrand Russell suggests? Russell, one of the sharpest minds of the 20th century, wasn't afraid to tear apart society's most cherished traditions. And when it came to marriage, his words were a brutal wake-up call. He argued that marriage wasn't about love, respect, or even companionship. It was a social and economic arrangement, and one that too often worked against women. Russell compared marriage to prostitution. Why? Because in his eyes, both were systems where women were forced to trade their bodies to survive in a world dominated by men. For centuries, marriage was the primary career available to women. They were expected to secure a husband, keep him satisfied, and raise his children, whether or not they actually wanted that life. And the so-called sanctity of marriage? Just a convenient excuse to enforce control and preserve power dynamics. Bertrand Russell believed that traditional marriage suffocated individual freedom. He wasn't just angry about how it treated women. He saw it as a cage for everyone involved. Men, trapped by societal expectations, were forced into the role of providers, working endlessly to maintain families they might not have even wanted. Women, in turn, were reduced to roles of servitude, sacrificing their autonomy to fit into a mold someone else had built for them. Russell hated this. He hated how society praised these sacrifices as noble while ignoring the quiet misery they created. Russell's bold claim that women endure more unwanted sex in marriage than in prostitution. How many women in history had the power to say no to their husbands? How many were treated as equals, with their desires and boundaries respected? Russell called out this imbalance, refusing to sugarcoat the reality that for many women, marriage wasn't a partnership, it was a duty. Russell didn't just criticize marriage, he challenged the entire structure of society that propped it up. He argued for open relationships, freedom, and the idea that people should come together out of mutual respect and love, not because of a legal contract or social obligation. For Russell, marriage as it was traditionally practiced was a relic of a bygone era, designed to control people rather than liberate them. Now, this isn't to say Russell was anti-love. He believed deeply in the beauty of human connection. But for him, love should never be a prison. It should be a choice, free of coercion or expectation. And if that meant tearing down the institution of marriage to rebuild it in a way that honored individual freedom, then so be it. Marriage, in his view, wasn't just flawed, it was dangerous. It stifled freedom, perpetuated inequality, and forced countless people into roles that crushed their spirit. After all, what's the point of love if it comes with chains?